All right, so we are finishing up our lesson 12 with our last session on adding fractions. So obviously next will be subtracting fractions, but this is kind of a review of all the things we've done up until this point. Our warm-up gives us a mixed number here on the left and just a normal fraction on the right um, with different denominators. So our bottom numbers here are 6 and 8. So we need to find a common denominator first thing before we do anything else. So under here, I'll set up my 6 and my 8. So let's run out some factors here. 6, 12, um, 18, 24, and I'll stop there. And I've got 8, 16, and 24. So this technique, of course, is to kind of find the number that both these fractions will be able to convert into. And 24 is our big winner here. So you could keep going longer, but you just would be getting denominators that are not the smallest possible one. All right, so for addition, you can put these in any order, but I tend to put my mixed numbers up top, and I always add up my numbers vertically with fractions. It's just everything's lined up nicely this way. All right, so 24 means that we're going to be changing both of these. Now, sometimes you can get away with finding a common denominator between the two, and you get to keep one of them. But in this case, we won't be able to do that. So 24. All right, so the boxes there just represent what we're missing before we can continue. All right, 8 times 3 gives me 24. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 4 is 24. 5 times 4 is 20. For this, I tell kids if you don't have a whole number here with your fraction, you can always put a 0. Add up your whole numbers first. I've got 3. And then I write my half my fraction here to make sure I have the right denominator. And then I have 20 plus 3, and that's 23 24ths. So pretty big fraction. It's almost to one whole, to almost get us up to 4, but not quite. But that in itself is a little bit of everything that we've done up to this point as far as adding fractions. All right, so turn to page 243. We will skip this example and we'll go right to question 1. So the first question is, what is 3/5 plus 13/15? Um, so we've got 5 and we have 15 here. And my factors are 5, 10, and 15, and then there's 15. So this is a situation where one of the denominators, 5, can factor into the other. So that's why we're able to keep the 1. So again, order doesn't matter with addition. So I'll put 3/5 up here plus 13/15. And since we are already going to keep the 15ths, I'll just leave this unchanged. And for this one, here's this. All right. So we're going to keep our denominator, add our numerators. That gives me 22/15, which is fine. That is a correct answer. It's an improper fraction, though. And if you remember, we have a technique of converting this to a mixed number. I know 15 goes into 22 once, and the difference is 7. So up here, it's 1 and 7/15. That's your answer to question 1. Go ahead and turn the page. Michael rides his bike 2 2/3 miles on Saturday. He rides another 1 5/6 miles on Sunday. How many miles did Michael ride on his bike on both days combined? So this is an addition problem, and we're going to show our work. So for these, 2 2/3 plus 1 5/6. Okay. Over here, we've got 3 and 6 as our denominators. Now 3 is a factor of 3 and 6 can work with one another. So we are going to keep the 6. And for this one, we're going to have to do some converting. 3 times 2, 2 times 2. That gives me 4, 6. Let me put that up there in red. All right, so when you add your mixed numbers, add up your whole numbers first. We got 3. I'm going to put my denominator here, 6. Whoops, 6. And 4 plus 5 is 9. So once again, that answer is acceptable, but 9/6 is improper fraction. It's improper in the sense that fraction is parts of one whole, but we can take one whole out of this. So over here, let's convert that. And then bring our remainder up, and that's 1 3/6. So we add that 3 plus the 1 3/6 to equal 4 3/6. Or, some of you probably saw you can simplify that to 4 1/2. All right, let's do another one. Number 3, Sasha needs 3/4 cups of flour to make a batch of muffins and 1 2/3 cups of flour to make a loaf of bread. So they want to know how much she needs for both. So we're adding a regular fraction and a mixed number. Again, I like to put, if that's the case for me, I like to put my mixed number up here, and then I'll put my fraction part here. And we have to figure out the common denominator for this. So I'm going to use a space down here, 3 and 4. So let's do the factors of 3. So I got 3, 6, 9, 12. I got 4, 8, 12. Now, again, more practice you have with these, if you see a 3 and a 4, you're probably already thinking it's going to be 12. Plus, we got this thing called the easiest common denominator, and I would just take the bottom numbers and get that. So that'll work, but we're trying to level up a bit here. Anyway, so we've got 1 something over 12, and this is going to become something over 12. All right, 4 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So that's going to give us 1 17/12. 17/12 is improper, so let's convert it to a mixed number. That makes 1 5/12. So this is going to become 1 plus 1 5/12, which equals 2 5/12, which just so happens to be this one. So that's what's often will happen. You'll get an answer like this, and then your options, like none of them make sense, so you think you did something wrong. Quite often it's you just need to do one more conversion. All right, we're going to skip 4. Let's do 5. Sam has 5.5 yards of rope. He needs an additional 3 5/6 yards for a project. What total length of rope does Sam need for his project? So I've got 2, and I've got 6 as my denominators. Got 2, 4, and 6, and 6. So my common denominator here will be 6. So let's set it up with 5 1/2 plus 3 5/6. If we're sticking with 6, that means we'll leave this one completely alone. And this one, we will change this top part here. And 2 times 3 times 3. 3. Add up your whole numbers. You have 8. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 and 8, 6. For that, we're going to have to convert this improper fraction. Let's do that right over here. That's 1 2/6. So this will be 8 plus 1 2/6, which equals 9 2/6. Or, if you want to simplify, 9 1/3. 9 1/3 yards. And this last one's really easy. It's really quick. Which two fractions below can be added using the denominator of 18? Well, think of what numbers are factors of that. So 9 can go into it, 8 cannot divide in, 12 cannot, 4 cannot, but 6 sure can. So 5, 6, and 4 ninths. Now there's two questions on the back we're going to skip. They're good questions. I just think it's we got the basic idea at this point. So your classwork will be the IXL of K10, compare fractions and mixed numbers. You may go to 70% for that to complete the lesson and 100% for a house point. Kids working at home, I will be checking that and can still award house points even though you may be home today. So contact me with any questions. Otherwise, we'll move on to subtracting decimals or subtracting fractions